Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nar for the Nar Report. Back today with another episode 13 of the Nar Report. And I just want to say thank y'all for the love and support. Keep on supporting me, and I'll keep on doing this. The followers and subscribers on social media has gained very well. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So I appreciate all the love and support. And make sure if you like this YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment after every episode, and follow me on all of my social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok at D_NAR_report. All right. And in today's episode, I'll talk about a couple things. The NFL Week 11 just wrapped up on Monday night. I'm going to give y'all my Week 12 NFL predictions. And I'll also talk about some NBA as well, too. The NBA in-season tournament was last night, too. And I'm going to also talk about what has been going on so far in this NBA season. This is a good time in sports right now. But now we're going to start off with the Thursday night football game with the Commanders and Eagles. Eagles win 26-18 in Philly in the NFC East showdown. This was a battle for first place in the division. And all I got to say is this was a good game overall, though. In the first half, it was more of a defensive game, but in the second half, it was all Eagles. Overall, Jalen Hurts, he had a good game. Saquon Barkley had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns to seal the deal for the Eagles. Washington, and this is the crazy thing about the Washington Commanders. They get all this hype. Washington has been getting a lot of hype. Oh, they 7-2. They're going to win the NFC East. But to me, when Washington plays competition, they just not there. And I don't know what it is with the Washington Commanders, because when they play good teams, they don't show up. To me, I feel like the Commanders should have beaten the Eagles. They were up 10-6 at halftime, and then they fell off a cliff. And I want to show y'all something real quick. What's up? I want to shout out to my guy, Mr. 411 from Mr. 411 Sports World Network. He said that Washington is fading. Yes, they are. Because when Washington plays contenders like Philly, Detroit, they always fall off a cliff. But Washington throughout the whole season hasn't really beaten anybody. So, yeah, but Washington will make the playoffs, but they are also a first-round exit. And next we know, scheduling is everything in the NFL. Yes, sir, it is big time. And with the fire emojis from my guy, Mr. 401. Hey, thanks for joining in, Mr. 401. Thank you for all the love and support. And just like he said right here, the NAR Report. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube, and follow me on all of my social media platforms at D_NAR_report. Thanks for the shout out, my guy. Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, he had a good game. 18 for 28 for completion, threw for 221 yards, 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Now, I didn't really expect that, but Saquon Barkley has been carrying the Eagles' offense so far this season, and that was a good addition during the offseason for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley had 2 touchdowns to seal the deal for the Eagles at the end of the fourth quarter. Those were big-time touchdowns by Saquon Barkley. He won them the game, okay? If it wasn't for Saquon Barkley, the Eagles would have won this game. And then for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he had a solid game, 22 for 32 for completion, threw for 191 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And it's crazy because Washington was playing very good. Their defense was playing very good until Saquon Barkley scored those 2 touchdowns. And if Washington would have won this game, all the hype would have came back. Oh, Washington, they are a contender now. They can make some noise in the playoffs. But realistically, though, the Washington Commanders are a first-round exit. Okay? Just soon as that, they'll make the playoffs. And whoever they play in the first round, they're going home. Okay? Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. But that's it for Washington and Philly. Philly will win the NFC East. And Eagles win 26-18. Moving on to the next game, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Packers. Green Bay wins 20-19 in Chicago off of a game-winning blocked field goal. And before I talk about this game, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I'm going to be very clear with y'all if y'all don't know this. This is basic NFL knowledge. The Green Bay Packers own the Chicago Bears. Yes, the Packers own the Bears, man. That's the Bears owner right there. They just can't beat these guys. Like, when was the last time the Bears beat the Packers? Man, overall, though, this was a good game. Bears had the game won, but how did it get blocked? And it's crazy because the last 2 weeks of the season, we had teams winning off of blocked game-winning field goals. Denver and Kansas City. Denver was right there to hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season. Kansas City blocks the field goal to win it. And now Green Bay comes into Chicago and beats the Bears off of a game-winning blocked field goal. What is going on? But let me talk about the Chicago Bears real quick. The Chicago Bears have fallen off the cliff. Okay? These boys have fallen off the cliff. They were born to in contention to win the NFC North. But you know what slipped the Bears off? That Hail Mary. That Hail Mary in Washington really cost them the season, because if they would have won that game, they'll still be in contention for the playoffs, which they still are. But right now, I feel like this team should have 6 wins right now. Okay? They should have won this game, and they should have won in Washington. But Caleb Williams, he's doing all right. The coaching has to be better. The offensive line has to block. I've been saying this throughout every episode when I talk about the Chicago Bears. The Bears' offensive line has to block, okay? And I don't know what's up with the offensive line. But let's hop right into the game in general. Caleb Williams, he had a good game. What a game from Caleb Williams. And this is the game the Bears should have won. Caleb Williams stats, 23 for 31 for completion, threw for 231 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions. But still had a good game, though. But DeAndre Swift, he had a touchdown, and the other running back, Johnson, had a touchdown as well, too. So their 2 running backs, Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Swift, scored a touchdown for the Chicago Bears. And the defense was playing good, too. And it's crazy because I was going to pick the Bears to win, but I was like, Packers going to win this one. Yeah, the Packers just going to somehow to win this game. Now let's talk about the Packers. Jordan Love, 13 for 17 for completion, threw for 261 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The Packers played a solid game, and it was like the Packers were letting the Bears have this game, okay? Bears down 1. They drive down the field into field goal range to set up and win it. What happens? Blocked. Like, how did this even happen? But it's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen. The Green Bay Packers own the Chicago Bears. It's basic NFL knowledge, all right? And if you don't know what NFL knowledge is, it's a study of the NFL. Like, if you watch the NFL, you will know that the Packers own the Bears. But that's it. Green Bay wins 2019 in Chicago. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers win 18-16 in Pittsburgh in the AFC North Division Showdown. Let's talk about it. The Steelers did not even score a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals and still won the game. They did the same thing to us in Atlanta. And it's crazy because I'm a Falcons fan. I was like, oh, so not only the Steelers can kick field goals to beat teams, but you got to score touchdowns. Field goals not going to win you the games unless you got a good defense. The reason why the Steelers won this game was because of their defense. Okay? The Steelers got the best defense in the NFL. All right? Lions Steelers got the top 2 defenses in the league right now. Let's hop right into the game. Lamar Jackson, he played a good game. King Henry, he had a touchdown as always. King Henry averages a touchdown every game. It's like when you watch the Ravens play, just go ahead and assume that Derrick Henry's going to score a touchdown because he is a touchdown machine. Let's look at the stats for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, 23 for 36 for completion, threw for 205 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Russell Wilson had a pretty good game, and ever since Russell Wilson has been the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he is undefeated, okay? And this is my hot take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will make the AFC Championship game, okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers will make the AFC Championship. The AFC Championship this year will be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mark my words. And the defense was phenomenal. At the end, Ravens down 8, needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game. They got the touchdown, but failed the 2-point conversion. On that 2-point conversion, I don't know what the heck was that. All right, what was supposed to be like a fake to the running back and Lamar running into the end zone, but that defense is phenomenal. Now let's talk about the Ravens. The Ravens' offense and defense was not too good, but they put up the numbers up. All right, so that's all I got to say. We got to get credit when the credit is due. And to me, I don't think the Baltimore Ravens will make it back to the AFC Championship game this year because the AFC is stacked. Because look at the teams ahead of them. Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Kansas City. But they can be Houston, though. They can be Houston, though, if they end up in a wild card. Playing against the Texans, they'll win. And here's another point, though. The Baltimore Ravens will make the playoffs, but they'll be a first-round exit if they play against Pittsburgh or Buffalo. Okay? If they play one of those two teams, they're going home. All right? But if they play Houston, they'll win. Okay? So that's how it is. And that's it for the Steelers and Ravens game. Steelers went 18-16. Moving on to the next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New York Jets. Colts went 28-27. Colts win 28-27 in New York. Let's talk about it. AR, good game. Good game. He finally learned off of Joe Flacco. AR looking at his stats right now, 20 for 30 for completion, threw for 272 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. What a game by Anthony Richardson. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns at the fourth quarter to give the Colts the lead. And I said this about Anthony Richardson, if y'all didn't notice, but Anthony Richardson is a good quarterback. I don't think he wasn't ready for the moment. So it was a good thing that the Colts benched him and sat him behind Joe Flacco. That was a good thing for the Colts. And for the Jets, man, we all thought the Jets were going to be contenders this year, like playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. But these boys are falling off the hill. And the New York Jets just fired their GM, Joe Douglas. What happened with the Jets? The Jets are back to being the sorry old Jets from 2020 back in, whatchamacallit? I don't know when, but the Jets are back to being sorry again. They're back to being the Jets that suck. Aaron Rodgers, solid game. 22 for 29 for completion, threw for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And the Jets still can't find a way to win this game. The Jets have been in a lot of close games, but they just can't find a way to win it. Like, what's up? I feel like the New York Jets should have never fired Robert Saleh. That was the huge turnaround for the Jets. When they fired Robert Saleh, the Jets done falling off the cliffs. It's just, I'm just keeping it real with you. And that's it. Colts win 28-27 and still in playoff contention, though. I feel like the Indianapolis Colts could sneak into the playoffs, but Denver is in that last spot for that 7th seed. Next game, we go to Detroit. We got a BTA. If you know what BTA means, you know what it means. Belt to you know what. Lions win 52-6 in Detroit. Man, the Lions haven't put up 50 for the past few games. I feel like the Lions average 50 points per game. All right, because this is the best team in the National Football League. All right, Jared Goff should be the favorites to win MVP. He is playing phenomenal right now, and he will lead the Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl this year. And they can win it all, though. I would love for the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl this year because they got that team. And the Lions should have made the Super Bowl last year in that NFC Championship game. They were up 24-7. They were just 30 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl, but the 49ers came back and won the game. But it is what it is. Detroit, they'll make it back to the NFC Championship game. They'll win the division, and they'll get to the Super Bowl because nobody is being on the Lions in the NFC, all right? The only competition to the Lions are the Eagles, okay? That's it. Like, I can't see nobody else competing with Detroit. The only competition is the Eagles. Who else? Now, nobody in NFC West can beat them. San Fran, no. We can't beat the Lions as a Falcons fan. I'm just being realistic, though. I don't see us beating the Lions. Packers, maybe, and Vikings, maybe. All right. The only threats to the Detroit Lions in the NFC are the Eagles, the Packers, and the Vikings. Well, maybe the Vikings, but the Vikings aren't a playoff contender. Well, they are, but they just not a playoff team. They always make the playoffs and then fold. But the Packers, yes, I will consider a threat to the Detroit Lions. But the Lions, who's stopping these guys? All right. Let's hop in right into the game. Here are the stats for Jared Goff. 24 for 29 for completion, threw for 412 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Jared Goff, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's been averaging a touchdown every game for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown is starting to look scary. All right. This team is starting to look scary because, man, that is the best quarterback and wide receiver duo right now in the NFL. Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for the Jaguars, y'all should have stayed in Jacksonville, bro. And how does Doug Peterson still have a head coaching job? Why isn't this dude fired? What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna wait till the season is over to fire Doug Peterson? Shoot, you might as well, because y'all not making the playoffs. Shoot, and y'all fighting for the first round pick. So after the season, like after y'all lose week 18, I should be getting a notification from ESPN saying Doug Peterson has been fired by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because, man, that is a poverty franchise. But that's it. Lions win 52-6 in a beatdown. Moving on to the next game, we got the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns. Saints win 35-14 in New Orleans. The Browns lost to one guy. And y'all know who that one guy was? Taysom Hill. The Browns lost to Taysom Hill. He was the Saints offense, okay? This dude had 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, and those were all rushing touchdowns. Taysom Hill was the dang MVP. All right? Well, let's talk about the stats for Derek Carr. Derek Carr, he had a good game, 21 for 27 for completion, threw for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Hey, the Saints started off 2-7 and on a little winning streak now. So, but they still not gonna make any noise though. They're not making the playoffs and like that. Okay, so congrats to the Saints for winning against the Cleveland Browns, man. And y'all want to know what's crazy about the Browns? One year they could be a team that makes the playoffs, and then the next year they back to being the sorry old Cleveland Browns, like the 2016 Browns, like when they won one freaking game. The Browns are back to being the Cleveland Browns that we officially know. Like the Jets are back to being the sorry Jets, and the Browns are back to being the sorry Browns. But let's go over the stats for Jameis Winston, because these are some hot stats. 30 for 46 from completion, threw for 395 yards. Jameis Winston almost threw for 400 yards against his former team. 400. He threw for 395 yards and almost threw for 400 against his former team. He went off, okay, and 2 touchdowns. But the Browns, Winston didn't have any help out there. Okay, the defense was horrible. The offense wasn't clicking. The Browns just suck. All right, and I didn't even have the Browns making the playoffs this year because I wasn't really high on them. You know what I'm saying? Because Watson ain't no telling what he's going to do. The defense is good, but hey, it is what it is. The Browns are back to being their normal selves. And that's it. Saints win 35-14. That's BTA right there. So far, I listed 2 BTAs. Lions whoop up on the Jaguars 52-6. And then the Saints whoop up on the Browns. Not the Saints. Taysom Hill whoop up on the Browns 35-14. Then we got another whooping in Miami. The Dolphins win 34-19 against the Raiders. Let's talk about it. Tua Tagovailoa had a good game. The Dolphins are now 4-6, back in playoff contention. And I feel like if the Dolphins win, they're going to win against New England. And if they beat the Packers, I can see this team making the playoffs. Okay. Because I got the Dolphins making the playoffs this year. I have them winning the AFC East, but that division belongs to Buffalo. But hopefully the Dolphins can make the playoffs. Let's talk about it. Tua Tagovailoa, good game. 28 for 36 for completion, threw for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Tua Tagovailoa, when he's healthy, he is a good quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. And Dolphins offense was nobody. The Raiders defense was, I don't know. The Dolphins offense was a little too much for that Raiders defense because, man, they ran all over them. Jonnu Smith, he had 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had a touchdown. And Devin Achane had a touchdown as well, too. So that offense was putting up numbers. And I like what I've seen for that Dolphins offense. And the Miami Dolphins got a good defense, too, now. So I feel like on Thanksgiving, they can walk into Green Bay and beat the Packers because they almost beat the Bills in Buffalo. And the Dolphins don't usually play good in the cold. So, yeah. And for the Raiders, ain't nothing much to say about them. Man, these guys stink. I'm glad Davante Adams left. Okay, I'm glad he requested a trade. He's out of there. But, man, if you're a Raiders fan, I feel bad for you because y'all deserve better than this. Okay? Y'all been trash for the last decade. All right? So, if you're a Raiders fan, hear me out. I hope y'all have some success in the future. And Gardner Minshew is not it. Okay? And y'all need to draft a quarterback in the draft. All right? That's all I got to say for the Raiders. But Dolphins win 34-19. Moving on to the next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New England Patriots. Rams win 28-22 in New England. Let's talk about it. Matthew Stafford still playing at a high level. Okay? He is playing like an MVP right now. And ever since Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua came back healthy, the Rams offense has been very solid. All right. And the Rams are back in contention to win the NFC West, which is the tough division in football right now. Anybody can win that division at that point. The Seahawks could win, the Rams could win, the Cardinals could win, and the 49ers could still win this division. So don't count out the 49ers, okay? But let's talk about the stats for the Rams. Matthew Stafford, good game, 18 for 27 for completion, threw for 297 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Hey, Matthew Stafford went off. Let's go over the stats for Drake May and the Patriots. The Patriots played a great game. The offense, the defense was very good. This was a good game back and forth. These teams go. Offense was clicking on both sides of the ball. Defense was playing good for both teams. So I like what I seen. Drake May, he had a good game. 30 for 40 from completion, threw for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. New England Patriots, you done find yourself a franchise quarterback. Congratulations. Drake May is officially your franchise quarterback for the New England Patriots. Excuse me there. But that's it, man. Rams win 28-22. And watch out for the Rams in that NFC West race because it's coming down to the wire. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Tennessee Titans. Vikings win 23-13 in Tennessee. Let's talk about it. The Vikings, good game. The offense was good. The defense was good. And there's really nothing much to say because they played the Tennessee Titans. All right. And the Titans are trash. Okay. And ain't no telling who their quarterback is. 1 week is Will Levis. The next week is Mason Rudolph. Like, ain't no telling. The Titans need a quarterback. Okay. Because Will Levis is not the guy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Titans, I understand y'all selected Will Levis. He's a solid quarterback, but I don't think he's going to win y'all any games. All right. And I don't even really know anybody that played for the Titans because that's the sad part. The only time I recognized the Titans was when King Henry, A.J. Brown, and Ryan Tannehill was there. That's the only time. But anyways, though, the Titans suck. The Vikings, they played a great game. Sam Darnold had a good game, 20 for 32 for completion, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The Vikings are in that race for the Lions for that NFC North title. All right, so Lions, y'all got some competition now. All right, y'all got to play the Vikings one more time and the Packers one more time. So those 2 games could determine y'all division. All right, so they're coming for y'all. But that's it. Vikings win 23-13. Then we move on to the 4 o'clock games. I'm going to talk about a thriller we had in San Francisco. And Mr. 401, if you're still in this live, shout out to your Seattle Seahawks getting the big time win against their division rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, 20-17 in San Fran. Let's talk about it. 4 quarters, Seahawks down 13-17. Geno Smith came down the field and won them the ball game. He was the MVP. It was 2nd and 2 with like 30 seconds left. Geno Smith, nobody to throw it to. He runs it in for the touchdown. Okay? He runs it in for the touchdown. Geno Smith, amazing game. 25 for 32 for completion. Threw for, hold on. Shoot, I'm tripping. But Geno Smith balled out. Okay? And I would love for the Seattle Seahawks to win the NFC West because they are a good team. It's just sometimes they're too inconsistent. All right. I feel like if the Seahawks are consistent, they are a playoff team. Okay. So I love the Seahawks. I love what the new coaching is doing. And they got some weapons. All right. Geno got some weapons over there. DK, JSN, Kenneth Walker. I love those guys. Okay. Back at the stats. 25 for 32 for completion, threw for 221 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. But it's all right, though. He didn't have a passing touchdown, but he had a rushing touchdown, which won them the game. And for Mr. 401, huge victory. If y'all don't know, Mr. 401 is a big Seahawks fan. Shout out to your Seahawks for picking up the win in San Fran. Still in contention to win the NFC West, though. We'll see how that goes. And one more thing. Yes, Seattle is inconsistent. We need to do Sanders. Hey, I love him on the Seahawks. He will go crazy, bro. I'm telling you, him, DK, JSN, Kenneth Walker, that offense is going to be scary in Seattle. So, hopefully, the Seahawks get Shedeur Sanders. But it'll be nice, though, if he's on Seattle. And then for the 49ers, this was a must-win game for the 49ers because – man, at this point, I don't even think San Fran is going to make the playoffs because their schedule gets tougher and tougher at the end of the season. And they had the game won. They was up 17-13 with like 5 minutes left, and the defense at the end. Where was the defense? Okay, where was that defense on that Seattle drive? It's like this defense disappeared. And at this point, it looks like the San Francisco 49ers won't make the playoffs this year. And it's crazy because this was the team that should have won the Super Bowl last year. This team went from being in the Super Bowl last year and almost beating the Chiefs to not making the playoffs. And I understand San Fran has been dealing with a lot of injuries, but they've been competitive, but they just can't find ways to win games. And I'm looking at the 49ers schedule right now. Man, the only way the 49ers are going to make the playoffs is if they win the division, which is realistically winning out, okay? Because here is their upcoming games, their remaining schedule. They're 5-5. They got the Packers this Sunday in Limbo. They got the Bills, the Bears, which they'll win that game, the Rams at home, the Dolphins on the road, the Lions, and then the Cardinals. That Cardinals game could determine the division right there. I feel like the Packers, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions will determine their season, okay? If San Fran loses about 3 more games, I think the season is over, okay? Because, man, injuries going on for San Fran, and this hasn't been their season, okay? So, but it happens, though. This hasn't been anybody's season so far. Injuries are killing the NFL. But that's it, though. Seahawks win 20-17 in San Fran. What a win by the San Francisco 49ers. Next up, we go to Denver with my Atlanta Falcons taking on the Denver Broncos. Broncos win 38-6. Man, this was a sad game to watch, bro. From what I seen on Sunday, disappointment. All right. Kirk Cousins, disappointing game. The offense, where was the offense? Okay. We got 2 field goals. Hey, I'm glad at least we scored. Okay, because the score really could have been 38-0 if Koo didn't make those 2 field goals. And it's crazy because Koo, you want to make these 2 field goals in Denver, but where was these field goals in New Orleans, which could have won us the game? But Koo, we're on a bye week right now, and I need you on the field kicking field goals, okay? Because when we come back from this bye week, I do not need you missing field goals, okay? So, if you hear me, I'll be real with you. Just work on your field goals. But let's talk about the game in general. Kirk Cousins did not have a good game. 18 for 27 for completion, threw for 173 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Not only the offense was bad, but the O-line couldn't block for nothing, bro. That defense for the Denver Broncos is scary. And that pass rusher is elite too. But anyways, we did get to see Michael Penix Jr. He had a good game. 2 for 4 for completion, threw for 24 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And I like what I'm saying for Michael Penix Jr. He is a solid quarterback, and I'm glad that we drafted him at the 8th overall pick. And the defense for the Falcons was non-existent. All right. Bo Nix, amazing game. Our defense made Bo Nix look like Joe Montana out there, Tom Brady, primetime Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. That's who Bo Nix looked like out there. 28 for 33 for completion, threw for 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Bo Nix went off. He looked like primetime Peyton Manning out there, or primetime John Elway. That's who Bo Nix looked like out there. Because, man, he was lighting our defense up. And the Broncos have that last 7 seed in the playoffs in the AFC if this season ended today. But overall, when I'm looking at the schedule for the Denver Broncos, I'll say they'll make the playoffs, okay? And I won't be surprised if they beat anybody, all right? I feel like they could win a playoff game this year against either Pittsburgh or Buffalo, but don't be surprised if the Denver Broncos win a playoff game. I'm not saying they'll make it far to like the AFC Championship game, but I'm just saying they can win a playoff game. And Bo Nix in the playoffs will shine. But that's it, though. Broncos win 38-6 against my Falcons. Man, I'm glad that we got a bye week. Okay, we got a bye week so we can regroup. Defense, we got to get healthy. We need to be watching film. All right, we need to be watching film. And on this bye week, we need to be watching that Ravens and Chargers game because that's who we play coming after the bye. Moving on to the next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. And the Kansas City Chiefs are no longer undefeated. The Buffalo Bills handled their first loss of the season. Bills win 31-20. Let's talk about it. Josh Allen, good game. MVP right there. He won the Buffalo Bills the game in that fourth quarter. 4th and 2. 23-21. Josh Allen said, we ain't kicking no field goal. We're going to win this game right now. And what he does, fake the throw. He runs it up the middle. Josh Allen, Superman, touchdown. Bills win. Josh Allen had an amazing game. 27 for 40 for completion. Threw for 262 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And he also had that rushing touchdown, which sealed the deal. That was a highlight reel. And I'll probably post that on the Now Report later on today. Because, man, James Cook, he had a good game. 9 attempts for 20 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even though without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and they lost some key guys on defense, the Buffalo Bills are still a Super Bowl contender team. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he had a good game. 23 for 33 for completion, threw for 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And here's the thing about when the Chiefs and Bills play each other. The Bills can beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but they can't beat them in the playoffs, okay? you have to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs when it matters, because that's your path to get to the Super Bowl. And overall, this is what we learned. The Bills could beat the Chiefs, but they got to find a way to beat them in the playoffs. That's the only way they'll make it to the Super Bowl. But that's it. Bills win 30-21. Then we go to Sunday night in LA with the Chargers and Bengals. Chargers win 34-27 in a good game. Let's talk about it. Justin Herbert, solid game. 17 for 36 for completion, threw for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Man, as a Falcons fan, the Chargers are a good team. That's what we play next week. So I will be watching the Monday night game, paying very close attention on how we can beat the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday, December 1st. The Chargers offense was elite. Herbert was lighting the Bengals defense up. And the Los Angeles Chargers are a playoff lock. The Chargers will make the playoffs this year. And they'll probably win a playoff game, because I love what I've seen for Herbert. I love what I've seen for Coach Harbaugh. And, man, the Chargers can make some noise in the playoffs. So watch out for this team. And they got a good defense, too, with Khalil Mack coming back. Oh, yeah, that defense is going to be a problem. But let's talk about the Bengals. Joe Burrow, stats ain't looking a little too good. 28 from 50 for completion, threw for 356 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The Bengals, man, tough season for the Bengals. They should not be 4-7 right now. They should be at least 6-2, something like that, around that time. Not 6-2, but like 7-2, 8-2. Like, they should have about 6 to 8 wins. Okay, and I don't know what's up with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they've been in close games. The problem is they just can't win them. The Bengals are a competitive team, but they just can't win games. But that's it, though. And if the Bengals going to make the playoffs, you got to win. Okay, 1 out, 10-7. Hopefully that gets you into the playoffs, because you got Miami ahead of you. You got the Colts ahead of you, the Broncos, and then the Chargers. I don't think Cincinnati will make the playoffs this year. So better luck next season, though. But that's it. Chargers win 34-27 in LA. And then last but not least, we go to the Monday night game with the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys battle for Texas. Cowboys, just forfeit the season, okay? Just Jerry Jones, go tell Roger Goodell, hey, we're forfeiting the rest of our games, okay? And the Cowboys home games, those tickets need to be $5, okay? Because if you pay over $20 for a ticket, you got pleased, okay? But let's talk about the Texans. Offense, amazing. CJ Stroud, he had a good game. Even though he threw 0 touchdowns, 23 for 34 for completion, threw for 257 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But you want to know who scored all the touchdowns for the Texans? Joe Mixon. He went off. 3 touchdowns, 20 attempts, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns. And his longest run was for 45 yards. Man, Joe Mixon, when he scored those 3 touchdowns, he was out there dancing. He was dancing all over those Cowboys, man. That defense is horrible. And we all know that's how the Cowboys play at home. They get whooped. They lose by 20 plus. Cowboys. Yeah. I thought y'all don't lose at home. But I wonder if y'all can get blown out by the Giants on Thanksgiving at home, because, man, if y'all do, I don't know what to say. But that's it, though. Texans won 34-10 in Dallas in the Battle of Texas. Then we switch gears to the NBA with the NBA in-season tournament last night. The NBA season is underway, and I'll recap some of the in-tournament games that I watched last night. Starting off with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. Celtics win 120-117, handing to the Cleveland Cavaliers their first loss of the season. What a good game this was. The Cavs had a great game. The Celtics had a good game. This is the best team in the East versus the defending champions. These two teams is a this was a potential Eastern Conference Finals preview right here. Because, man, both of these guys went off. Donovan Mitchell, he had a good game. 35 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Evan Mobley, he had a good game. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Hey, Donovan Mitchell has been going off for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he is carrying this team. Jason Tatum, 33 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Hey, Mitchell and Tatum was going off. Bucket after bucket, both defense being played. The Cavs, they are a very good team. Okay? And I feel like if the Cavs were healthy, they would have got sent home in 5. They would have got sent home in 6. But, Mitchell was healthy. I mean, Donovan Mitchell was injured last year in the playoffs against the Celtics. So if he didn't get hurt, maybe they would have beaten him if Jarrett Allen was healthy too. But who knows? But that's it, though. And I'll also talk about the standings in a while, too, on how the NBA season stand out and where teams stand right now. But anyways, though, the Celtics reminded the Cleveland Cavaliers who the heck they are. They are the defending champions and the best team in the East. And that's it. Celtics win 120-117. And then last but not least, the Spurs and the Thunder. Spurs win 110-104. In San Antonio, no Victor Wembanyama, no Chet Holmgren. What a game this was. Chris Paul carried the team with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 11 assists. Now, Chris Paul, he's not a scorer no more, but he's more of a playmaker. And I love what Chris Paul brings to the San Antonio Spurs. And this Spurs team could sneak into the play-in tournament this year. So watch out for the Spurs. And for the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, good game. 32 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an all-star, okay? That OKC team is very young. They can make some noise in the West this season. And I feel like this year OKC will be in the conference finals. So watch out for the Thunder. And now we talk about the standings where each team stands out in the Eastern Conference and in the Western Conference. I'm going to start off with the Western Conference because, man, there's a lot of surprises in the West, though. Starting off in the West, the number 1 seed, we got the Golden State Warriors at 10-3. Ain't nobody expected the Warriors to be a top 3 team in the West. No Klay Thompson. Buddy Hield was a good replacement for Klay Thompson. Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, and Draymond Green is the new core for the Golden State Warriors. And Golden State can make it back to the finals, okay? Don't be surprised if they win it all this year because the Warriors got a team. We got OKC at number 2, 11-4. Young team led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got sent home last year by the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. But I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Phenomenal player. He's an all-star. He is the leader for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'd love to see where this team is by playoff time. And this team could make some noise, though. Okay? They're young. They're well-coached, well-motivated. I love what this OKC team is right now. Number 3, we got the Los Angeles Lakers at 10-4. Hey, with the fire of Darvin Ham and the hire of J.J. Redick, the Lakers are a top 5 team in the West. Not only top 5, but top 3. Bron James, almost 40 years old. He's playing phenomenal. Anthony Davis, AD, balling, playing like an MVP. If Bron AD stays healthy, they could finish top 3 in the West. Okay? So, watch out for the Lakers. All right? Because, man, the Lakers got a squad. And one player I like to shout out, Dalton Knecht. That dude is a bucket. All right? And he went off for the Lakers last night. He had like 30-something points. That dude is Austin Reeves 2.0. At number 4, we got the Houston Rockets, 10-5. Houston was a team that almost made the play-in last year, but I expect the team to be top 5. They got a good coach. They got a young core, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, Amon Thompson. Man, they got a squad in Houston now, so watch out for the Rockets. Number 5, we got the Denver Nuggets sitting at 8-5. The new addition of Russell Westbrook That's a good addition. Okay, they got a veteran, and ever since Russell Westbrook has been in Denver, them guys been showing out. All right, though. So Denver, I like where they are right now, but I do expect this team to be top 3. Number 6, the Phoenix Suns, 9-6. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I expect this team to be in the play-in tournament because the West is too freaking good this year, though. But Phoenix will make the playoffs, but I don't think they are a championship contender team. They just don't have the right guys around them. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant just don't have the right. But they don't have enough pieces around them. So, but the Suns, they're looking talented right now. They're looking pretty good. At number 7, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8-6. No Karl-Anthony Towns. I love the addition of Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. The other night, Julius Randle hit the game winner against the Phoenix Suns to hint the Timberwolves to win. Hey, Minnesota. I had this team finishing top 5 in the West this season, but Anthony Edwards, he's a stud. By playoff time, you know Anthony Edwards sharp though. And the Timberwolves could end up back in the conference finals, so watch out for the Timberwolves. And in the Western Conference, there are a lot of teams that y'all should watch out for. At number 8, the Clippers. I don't really expect much for them. Kawhi Leonard can't stay healthy. Harden is going to carry the team, so the Clippers are going to hang around in that play-in situation, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. At number 9, the Kings. I kind of expect for them to be in that range a little bit, maybe the 6th seed at least. I like the addition of DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. The Kings got a squad. Okay, I love the big 3. I love the head coach. The Kings are a playoff team. At number 10, the Dallas Mavericks. They're up and down a lot, but I expect them to be top 5, okay, because the Mavericks just made it to the NBA Finals, and by All-Star break, they will not be in the play-in tournament. At number 11, the Grizzlies. If Ja Morant and these boys can stay healthy, this team should be top 5 in the West. All right, so I feel like Memphis will end up in the playoffs this year. 12 seed Spurs. This team could sneak into the play-in, though, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. I love Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, and I love Chris Paul balling with these young guys. And prayers up to Greg Popovich. He is out with a stroke, and he is recovering right now. At 13, you got the Portland Trailblazers. Nothing much from them. 14, the Pelicans. Man, these boys can't stay healthy. Zion can't stay healthy for nothing. And after this season, excuse me right there, but man, my nose itching, bro. But the Pelicans should move on from Zion after this season because just blow it up, okay? The Pelicans just need to blow it up, all right? Because these boys cannot stay healthy. And then at 15, you got the Utah Jazz, which I pretty expected because the Jazz suck. So that's it for the West. Then we move on to the East. There's been a lot of surprises there. At number 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 15-1. They started off 15-0, got their first loss last night to the Boston Celtics. So Cleveland is going to be top 3. Boston, the defending NBA champions, they are a good team. They'll be top 3. They're 12-3. You got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, probably the best duo in the league. And Kristaps Porzingis, with him coming back too, Boston should be scary, okay? The biggest threats to the Boston Celtics are the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 3, the Orlando Magic. 9-6, no Paolo Banchero. And this team is still balling, though. I love this young, talented, well-coached Orlando team, okay? They should have beaten the Cavs last year in the playoffs in 7 games. But we're not going to talk about that. At number 4, the Knicks. I expect them to be top 5 with Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a good duo for the Knicks, okay? Tom Thibodeau, good coach too. I expect the Knicks to make the conference finals this year because they got a very good team. At number 5, we got my Atlanta Hawks. If y'all don't know, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan as well too. I'm an Atlanta sports fan, period. All right? Hey, we're looking good right now. Trae Young, Zachary Richardson, Dyson Daniels. Man, I'm glad we traded for him for DeJounte Murray because, man, He has been going off. Dyson Daniels has been going off. We are now top 5 in the West. Hopefully, we don't end up in the play-in this year, but you know how we do. We might end up in the play-in and make the playoffs. And then I'm just praying we don't be in the play-in this year, okay? I just pray that we just make the playoffs and win the playoff game. At number 6, the Miami Heat. Not a lot of surprise there. See, Miami is a up and down team. Ain't no telling where this team going to be at. One minute they're going to be top 5. Next minute they're going to be in the play-in. So ain't no telling where this Miami Heat team going to be. But I don't really expect much for them. But they'll be in the playoffs though. But hopefully they can win a playoff game with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Number 7, the Pistons. Hey, these boys balling. Cade Cunningham, that dude is a bucket though. All right. And I'm loving what I'm seeing for this Detroit Pistons team. And I don't really know nothing about the Pistons, but I just know they got Cade Cunningham. He's a baller. At number 8, the Indiana Pacers, 6 and 8. I expect for this team to be like top 6. They got Tyrese Haliburton. This team made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, though, and got swept by the Boston Celtics. And I don't think Indiana's going to make it back to the Conference Finals this year. They'll make the playoffs, but they're going to be a first round exit. At number 9, the Brooklyn Nets. These boys are balling right now. Cam Thomas, that dude is a bucket, though. And it's crazy because I forgot Ben Simmons was on that team, too. I was like, hold on. Ben Simmons still play basketball? Because ever since he left the Philadelphia 76ers, he hasn't been the same. At number 10, the Bulls, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball is back. Hey, I'm glad I'm seeing Lonzo Ball hoop again. But the Bulls, they're going to hang in that playing situation. At 11, the Charlotte Hornets. If LaMelo Ball stays healthy, the Hornets will be in that play-in mix. At number 12, you got the Milwaukee Bucks. This is where I get to talking right here. Why are the Milwaukee Bucks 12th in the East? Like, Doc Rivers, you got to get it together because I expect Milwaukee to be top 5. And hopefully Giannis doesn't request a trade, but I feel like Milwaukee will be all right, because they got a good backcourt in Damian Giannis. And I don't think Milwaukee's going to make noise this year in the playoffs, okay? Because Milwaukee is just not that good. But they got some good pieces around Damian Giannis, but they don't got enough, to make a deep playoff run. 13, you got the Raptors. They're 3 and 12. Nothing much from them. But I do like Scotty Barnes, their all-star, though. And number 14, you got the Wizards at 2 and 11. Not a surprise. I expected that. But number 15 in last place, I'm about to get some talking. The Philadelphia 76ers. Why in the world are y'all 2 and 11? I mean, don't get me wrong, Embiid has been hurt, but what's going on? Hopefully Embiid doesn't request a trade because as of right now, Tyrese Maxey is carrying the team. Pointing out Embiid for being late to practices. They had a team meeting after this 2 and 11 start, but they'll be fine, though. They'll figure things out once Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid stay healthy. They'll climb back up in the East standings and be in the playoffs this year. Philly will make the playoffs, but they got a lot of work to do. And Philly has a big 3 though: Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid. When these 3 guys are healthy, that is a scary Philadelphia 76ers team. So that's it for the East, and that's where the NBA sits as of right now. And then last but not least, I'm here to give y'all my Week 12 NFL predictions. And if y'all an NBA fan and an NFL fan, y'all let me know in the comments who's y'all favorite NFL teams and NBA teams. Let's go to Week 12 of the NFL season. It's time for predictions. Starting off with the Thursday night football game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers are easily going to win this game, okay? But I won't be shocked if the Browns win, though, because divisional games do seem to be close. So the Steelers will beat the Browns. We got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears. The Vikings will win that game because the Bears suck. I lost all hope in the Chicago Bears after Sunday. Lions Colts. Lions might put up 50 against the Colts. Buccaneers Giants. Buccaneers are going to win. And Mike Evans is supposed to be coming back this week. So, yeah, the Buccaneers will win. And the Giants just benched Daniel Jones for Tommy DeVito. Hopefully, he could make some noise though, because we need the Buccaneers to lose to the Giants. So as Falcons fans, we are huge Giants fans later on. Broncos, Raiders, Broncos, easy. Cardinals, Seahawks, good game. All right, I'm picking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game because I love what they did in San Francisco against the 49ers. So give me the Seahawks over the Cardinals. Chiefs, Panthers, Chiefs. But if the Panthers win, this will be hilarious. Titans, Texans, Texans. Patriots, Dolphins, Dolphins. Cowboys, Commanders, Commanders. If y'all don't, I swear, if the Commanders lose this game, all the hype is gone. Okay? All the hype is gone for the Commanders. 49ers and Packers. I'm rolling with the 49ers to beat the Packers because the 49ers own the Packers. All right. And I feel like the 49ers will bounce back against the Green Bay Packers. Sunday night, Eagles, Rams. Give me the Eagles over the Rams. And then for Monday night, battle the Harbaugh brothers. We got the Baltimore Ravens flying into LA, taking on the Chargers. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens to beat the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football in a very close game. So I'll go over my Week 12 NFL predictions again, as I usually do. Thursday Night Football, Steelers, Browns, I got the Steelers. Vikings, Bears, I got the Vikings. Lions, Colts, I got the Lions. Buccaneers, Giants, I got the Buccaneers. Broncos, Raiders, I got the Broncos. Cardinals, Seahawks, I got the Seahawks. Chiefs, Panthers, I got the Chiefs. Titans, Texans, I got the Texans. Patriots, Dolphins, I got the Dolphins. Commanders, Cowboys, I got the Commanders. 49ers, Packers, I got the 49ers. Eagles, Rams, I got the Eagles. And then Monday Night Ravens, Chargers, I got the Ravens. And that concludes today's episode of the NARD Report. Thank you for everybody that joined. I appreciate all the love and support. Keep on coming through. Make sure you turn on that bell for those notifications of when I post videos, short reels, and when I go live, baby. Because, man, the road to 1K is here. We're going to keep on building things out. I'm going to keep on doing the work. Make sure y'all follow me on my social media platforms at _NARD_report on TikTok and Instagram. Have a good rest of your day. NARD out.